Greetings, Grace Covenant, on this chilly Friday morning in January of 2022. We saw a lot of snow last weekend. Most of us were able to stay home and stay safe. We are still battling the COVID pandemic and the surge in the Asheville area. In Black Mountain here, we had some snow last night, and we're expecting a little more this evening. So a lot going on, and I'm a little delayed in my own production of a devotion time this morning because I was in Asheville early this morning having some physical therapy because I decided to shovel snow this past week and my body didn't like it. So I know I'm learning. I'm a 57-year-old man, almost 58 years old, and as we get older, there are things we have to realize about ourselves. And so I'm starting to realize some of that with my own body, and physical therapy today helped. And so I'm happy about that. But as I think of myself as getting older, and I see what other older white men in our country are doing, particularly politicians, I'm sure you saw in the news the words of our politician in Washington yesterday who made a distinction between African Americans and Americans, and just once again showed white privilege and the entire battle that we continue to have with white supremacy, that it comes out when people speak. It's so ingrained in who a lot of America is, and we still have much work to do to grow and to educate and to stamp it out. Now, I want to go back to being old and white, and fortunate that I do have health care, that I am able to have the appointments I need to take care of my body. Not only did I do physical therapy this week, a few weeks ago, as you age, for those of you who know what that's like, you see a dermatologist regularly. I've had things cut off that needed to be checked to be cancerous or not, and been fortunate that things have been benign. So I see a dermatologist regularly, and I had a skin tag, and many of us as we age get those, and I asked my dermatologist, it was on my eyelid. I said, "Can you remove this?" And he said, "No, actually you need to go to an eye specialist, and they need to look at your eyelids." And I don't know if you can see my eyelids. I have very, very heavy eyelids. It's now something that I know in layman's terms is called hooding. Now I know a lot of people have their eyes done and things, for cosmetic reasons, to look younger, to feel younger. But evidently this is a medical condition that I've had for a very long time. It's where above the eyelid and below the eyebrow, there's a lot of extra flesh, and it actually impedes my vision. As you can even see my forehead raising. Evidently I've been raising my forehead for years to see because my eyelids are so heavy with this extra flesh that they can't open themselves. The doctor tells me that this is a medical condition that requires surgery that's not cosmetic. And so I went yesterday to follow up with that and to see where we are. And eventually they're going to actually come in here and remove some of this material so that my eyelids can open and that I don't have to open my eyes by raising my forehead. So fascinating, I think, as I've been thinking about that. And they asked me, how long has this been going on? And I couldn't remember. It's been so long that I've lived like this. The backstory to this too is that this is hereditary. It usually is passed down from generation to generation in a family, and one of your parents, or sometimes both, will have this extra flesh that causes hooding. And it certainly is there in my family. I can look back, and my mother's side especially, all have these extra flesh material here above the eyes, which causes this. Nobody in my family's ever done anything about it. But I, as a musician trying to read music and trying to see to drive, I'm constantly having to blink to pull my eyes up. And we're going to get it fixed. And I'm excited about that. But I realized the parallel when I was sitting at the doctor's office, that we live with things that we have inherited for generations. And until someone else points it out to us, like white supremacy, like white male privilege, until someone is able to look at us from a new perspective and say, you know, that's actually a problem. You've been living with it. You don't realize it, but you're exhausted from holding up your eyebrows. Your vision is impaired. You can't really see and function and do as well as you would like to do. And I think once you deal with this problem, you're going to see how much better off you are. And so I'm excited that I'm going to get this issue corrected, but I'm even more excited to realize that this is a parallel for those of us who continue to speak out against white supremacy, who battle the discrimination that we see, who have come from systems and generations where it's so ingrained in us, we don't even know it's a problem. It's time for us to continue to make a difference. It's time for us to do the surgery and to correct things so that we as individuals and as a people can become better allies for our BIPOC citizens. So, Grace Covenant, stay the course. Take care of yourself as you get old. Make those doctor visits. And when someone has something wise to tell you and something from a different perspective that they can use to help you correct your own vision and see better, then may it be so. Thanks be to God, Grace Covenant.